Welcome to a reality where the sun sets not to end the day, but to herald the reign of shadows. This is the realm of the Yakuza dominion, a narrative that resonates with power, horror, and dystopian allure. Today, we delve into this alternative world, where the infamous Yakuza didn't just lurk in the underworld, but ascended to rule an entire empire. Our intricate chronicle takes you back several decades, tracing the Yakuza's ascendancy from the murky depths of society's underbelly. Through a meticulous and strategic manipulation of politics, economics, and the law, the Yakuza slowly, yet surely, wormed their way into the pillars of societal control. They shook the very foundations of the established order, and by the year 2040, successfully overthrew the government. The birth of a new order was a spectacle to behold. The once vibrant nation metamorphosed into a shadow of its former self, its governance now in the hands of those who once lurked in the shadows. The Yakuza put their mark on every of Japan's governance, from the economy to law enforcement. A council of the most influential bosses dictated stern policies, giving birth to a corporatocracy. The syndicates ran everything, their control so absolute, their justice so swift and merciless, it was as if they were a force of nature themselves. This dominion had its impact on society. The dichotomy between the haves and the have-nots widened. The elite basked in unprecedented luxury. Their lives were a flamboyant testimony to the seductive of power. The common folk, on the other hand, had their freedom curtailed. They had to endure a surveillance state, a world where drones and AI enforcers maintained an almost suffocating order. The nation's culture, once vibrant, was now a harrowing blend of high-tech dystopia and enforced tradition. The grim reality echoed with the chilling dread of the Yakuza's reign, serving as a stark reminder of what happens when the shadows gain control. Welcome to a world where the once vibrant culture was now a fusion of high-tech dystopia and enforced tradition. Technology became the empire's backbone and its chain. In this new age, cybernetic enhancements became a symbol of power, creating a stark class division based on one's access to such augmentations. These enhancements turned the Yakuza and their allies into beings beyond the ordinary human, almost superhuman in strength and abilities. Artificial intelligence, once revered as the beacon of progress and potential for humanity, now served a more sinister purpose. It was the conductor of a seemingly flawless economy, the puppet master manipulating global media, and the predictor of individual dissent. These capabilities ensured the Yakuza's rule was unassailable. It had become an invisible wall, standing firm and strong between the Yakuza's domination and any whispers of rebellion. The rise of the Yakuza as a dominant and sovereign entity sent powerful and alarming shockwaves through the international community. Old allies were lost in this new world order, and new enemies were made. The global economy was staggering under the weight of Japan's tech exports, which now had a nature. They served as both indispensable tools and insidious Trojan horses, threatening the security of nations worldwide. The world was on high alert. Espionage activities soared to unprecedented levels, with every new tech innovation subjected to stringent scrutiny for concealed threats. Technology became not just a tool, but a weapon. Espionage soared, with every innovation scrutinized for hidden threats. The Yakuza's rule heralded a new economic era. This era was not like anything anyone had seen before. It was an era where the digital world and the physical world intertwined in a sinister dance of power and control. The lines between the legal and the illegal became blurred. It was an age where the traditional ways of making money transformed, giving rise to a new kind of economy, an economy dominated by the underground world. The Yakuza, always known for their resourcefulness and adaptability, thrived in this new, unpredictable environment. They were quick to exploit the opportunities that came their way. Their influence spread to traditional industries, infiltrating them to the core. Factories, mines, and ports that once operated within the parameters of the law now found themselves tangled with the Yakuza's illicit activities. From gambling dens powered by the latest virtual reality technology to clandestine black markets dealing in cybernetic parts, the Yakuza had their hands in everything. These weren't just petty crimes, they were sophisticated operations, often by seemingly legitimate businesses, making it challenging for authorities to crack down on them. The economic model that the Yakuza employed was not just about making money, it was about establishing dominion. They were not just gangsters anymore. They were economic powerhouses. They infiltrated every industry, every transaction, every deal, They had their fingers in every pie. Every yen that was earned was circulated through their coffers. And with this, the Yakuza's economic model was one of total control, where every yen circulated through their coffers. Yet, in the darkest corners of this controlled society, a resistance simmered. These were groups that could not be more different from each other, yet they shared a common goal. Idealistic hackers and disillusioned former Yakuza members found common ground in their shared dissatisfaction and disillusionment with the state of affairs. Their collective voices merged into one, and they banded together, united by the burning desire to regain control and reclaim their humanity in a world that had blurred the lines between man and machine. Freedom and order. The battle for the soul of Japan escalated to unprecedented levels, reaching its zenith in a clash of ideals and technologies. Acts of defiance, initially small and isolated, in intensity and erupted into open rebellion. Every street corner turned into a battlefield, every byte of data a potential weapon. The rebellion transformed the landscape of Japan, turning it into a vast and complex battleground where the stakes were nothing less their freedom. The Yakuza, the oppressive force they faced, responded with ruthless efficiency. They deployed advanced technologies, cybernetic soldiers, and every resource at their disposal to quash the dissent. They attempted to stamp out the spark of rebellion, but were met with fierce resistance. Yet the resistance, fueled by the collective yearning for freedom and justice, persisted. They used guerrilla tactics, hacking, and every means available to them to undermine the Yakuza's rule. They waged a relentless war, a war for their humanity and freedom. Their spirit remained unbroken, their resolve stronger with each passing day, proving that the human spirit cannot be so easily tamed. Amidst the chaos, the Yakuza's reign was a grotesque tapestry of the new and the ancient. Emerging from the dark underbelly of society, the Yakuza evolved into a monstrous embodiment of the paradox of tradition and modernity. Once they were humble gamblers and peddlers, and now they stood as formidable kingpins of organized crime. These ceremonies that they conducted, they were no longer the sacred rituals they once were. They were now twisted parodies of the past, echoing the traditional values that were once so cherished. The rituals, initially representing honor and respect, had been morphed into terrifying shows of dominance and intimidation. The Yakuza exploited these ceremonies as tools, bending them to serve the purpose of power display, turning them into cynical performances, dripping with an ominous threat. However, oddly enough, these distorted traditions also served another purpose. They were a lifeline, a frail thread of cultural identity that the people could cling onto. Amidst the darkness that the Yakuza cast over Japan, these rituals emerged as beacons of cultural memory. They were not just symbols of power, but manifestations of Japan's past, vestiges of a time before this era of crime and corruption. They became rallying points. They were sources of unity and strength for those who sought to remember and rekindle the spirit of Japan beyond the Yakuza's chilling shadow. The people of Japan found resilience in these rituals. They reclaimed them as symbols of resistance against the Yakuza. Yet these traditions, distorted as they were, kept a semblance of cultural identity alive, becoming rallying points for those who sought to remember Japan's soul beyond the Yakuza's shadow. As Japan teetered on the brink of civil war, a profound sense of unease gripped the international community. The situation striking as a paradox, the global sphere remained largely divided, torn between a dire need for intervention and a veiled temptation for strategic gain. The escalating uncertainty within the borders of the land of the rising sun sparked a series of critical discourses among nations. Some nations were vocal, invoking the principles of international law and human rights. They called for immediate intervention. Citing the urgent need for humanitarian aid, they stressed the importance of protecting innocent lives from the internal turmoil. They fervently argued for global cooperation to bring an end to the spiraling violence, advocating for peace and stability. Conversely, others saw the situation through a different lens. They observed the chaos as a valuable opportunity, a strategic advantage that could potentially alter geopolitical dynamics. These nations subtly exploited the turmoil, playing a chess game of world politics. Caught in the middle was the ordinary Japanese citizen. Their plight, their suffering, triggered an emotional response, not just locally, but globally. It became a cause célèbre, attracting attention from every corner of the world. Hacktivists, digital warriors of the modern era, couldn't stay impassive. These digital vigilantes mobilized themselves, joining the digital fray against the oppressive Yakuza regime. The plight of Japan's people became a global cause, with hacktivists worldwide joining the digital fray against the Yakuza's regime. What future awaits Japan in this speculative reality? One path leads to liberation, a rebirth from the ashes of tyranny, where democracy and technology coexist for the betterment of all. Another path veers into darker horizons, where the Yakuza's model of governance becomes a blueprint for other power-hungry factions globally. Yakuza Dominion, while a speculative tale, asks us to ponder deeply about the nature of power, the essence of freedom, and the role technology plays in shaping our society. It serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us that the future, our future, is a tapestry woven from the threads of our choices, actions, and the values we uphold. Thank you for joining us on this journey through an alternate reality. Remember, while we explored the shadows in Yakuza Dominion, it's within our power to ensure that the future remains bright, shaped by hope, innovation, and the indomitable human spirit. For more explorations into speculative futures and the questions they raise, subscribe and join us on the next adventure.